What are the mechanics involved in creating a master project file and managing multiple projects within that master project file? Well, the first stage is to create a new blank file, which we already have in your working file called master project. It has nothing in it, it has no resources, it has no tasks, it has nothing. All we need to do now is cover how to add in other projects. So we have some other projects. We know we've already been working on My Kitchen, or we have a couple of other kitchen projects to carry out because friends of ours have said, you're great at that. Would you like to do ours as well? And I've got Bob and Sally's to manage as well. So what I'd like to do is pull all of those project plans into one place so I can manage them together. So inside the master project, I need to insert what effectively is referred to as a sub project. That's done from the project ribbon. And here we have this option, insert sub project. When I click the button, I'm then taken into my file system to go and find the corresponding project file because that project file already exists, already has its tasks in there. And in fact, most of them even have their links. So I firstly want to bring in the project file called My Kitchen. So I select, I then look at the options, which is to link to the project. If I remove this tick, the My Kitchen project is actually then embedded inside the master project. So is not then linked to the My Kitchen file. So any changes to the My Kitchen file will then not be reflected in my master project, which sort of defeats the object of having this in the first place. So I will keep the tick there, link to the project. I then have two options here on the insert. I have insert and insert read only. So if I'm trying to create a master file that just allows somebody to overview everything, then I could insert the sub project as read only, and then they would not be able to make any changes in the underlying project file. However, I'm the master here and I'd like to make changes, so let's insert. There's a great little error that's popped up. It says the two files you're trying to consolidate use different currencies. Therefore, it can't allow me to carry out this consolidation of inserting one inside the other. I can click OK to continue, but it might have some issues as we try to work out some costs further down the line. So rather than cause that issue, I'm going to click Cancel and just go and make sure that under File, Options and Display, currency for this master project file is also US dollars, because I know the My Kitchen one is. So OK. Let's try that same step again. Insert, My Kitchen, make sure we link to it, insert, and then it pulls the project in. And you can see it says My Kitchen, and we have a duration, a start date, and a finish date, and I can expand out My Kitchen, and we see we have a 1, which is 1 inside the master project file, but then 1's underneath there all the way down to 31 are effectively the subtasks of this particular project. Here where it's put My Kitchen, it's used the file information that we saved a long time ago when we created My Kitchen. And if I were to compress that and just put a task in that only exists at the master project, sample testing task, for example, and we see that that gets task number 2. And I don't want an estimated day. We know we don't like estimations. So I'm going to say 4 hours. So when I expand My Kitchen, they get these subtask numbers, but the main task number, so task number 2 there, is in my master project. Obviously, that task number 2 is driven by the start date of my master project file, not the start date of My Kitchen. Because I've inserted that sub-project with edit capabilities, I could make changes here, pull up old carpets, and we'll say pull up old carpets and tax. Okay, and that will make changes in the sub file, the kitchen file. So if I now click save, do you want to save changes to My Kitchen? That's the sub file. So yes, please. So I am prompted. So that's one sub project. Let's delete task 2 and insert another sub project here, which is going to be one of my other friends' kitchen projects. So sub project, say Sally's Kitchen, and that's called My Kitchen as well, because Sally called it My Kitchen. And we could come into here and make changes if we so wished. But you can see again, it's the same duration, different start date, starts on the 17th of October. Let's try and insert a third sub-project, which is going to be Bob's Kitchen. This time I'm going to insert as read-only. And you can see there's a little exclamation mark there now. This project was inserted read-only. And then if I were to try and make any changes, such as pull up old carpets, I want to add into there and tax. Okay. It appears to have made a change. Do I want to save changes to Bob's Kitchen? It's a read-only file. So do you want to make a copy of this file with your changes? So therefore I'd have another file to link to, or say, no, don't make any changes. I don't have permission. So that's a read-only option, and we are told there on the little icon. So when these are compressed, they are effectively counted as task 1, 2, and 3 within your master project. This one's read-only, so you get a little exclamation mark next to it. Now, within your master project, you can add tasks that effectively don't belong to any of your individual sub-projects, but they may belong to the overall plan. And I could insert them above. So let's go for task, insert a new task. And we could have an initial project plan development. It may take me 4 days now that I've got 3 projects to plan. Now, the start date for my project plan is based on the start date for the master project, not driven by any of the other 3 start dates. They've got their own individual start dates. Now, I can get into project information for each of these by double-clicking here, then project information, and I see the same information there, the start date, that I can see from that project file. Okay, what I might want to do is change the actual name. So let's just check whose we've got. So this one, for example, if I hover here, it will give me the path. So that is my kitchen. This one is Sally's kitchen. So if I go into there and change my kitchen to Sally's kitchen, and then this one's obviously Bob's to Bob's kitchen, that just makes it easier to spot which is which without me having to hover over the project icon here, which gives me the actual file path itself to each of these sub-project files. So if we now save our changes, yes to each, can't do to Bob, and then I close, can't say Bob's, I don't have read writes, and then let's open up Bob's kitchen on its own. You can see it says pull up old carpets, and the and text is not there. So let's pull up old carpets / lino. Okay, so I've made a change to Bob's kitchen, save those changes, close, reopen the master project file, and have a look in Bob's kitchen, pull up old carpets and lino. So where I've inserted without read-only rights, I can make changes either way. I can make changes in the master project to change the sub-project, or I can change the sub-project and it will update the master project. So in this case, because Bob's Kitchen is a read-only file, I have to go into the original Bob's Kitchen file to make the changes, but then I see those changes in the master project. So at the moment, we've got a very simple use of a master project. We've brought in, we've embedded, we've linked 3 other project files. One of those links is a read-only link, but at least we've been able to link to each of those files. Now, if you need to change that link to an editable link, then what you effectively need to do is to remove this task, which removes the link to the sub-project by deleting. So Bob Kitchen is a summary task, delete, delete all its subtasks as well. You can continue, delete Bob's Kitchen and its subtasks, or cancel, don't delete any tasks. Well, I want to delete them. Effectively, that removes the sub-project, and then insert that project again with a link, this time not read-only. We can see it says lino because it's brought that information in. I need to then again change that back to Bob's Kitchen. So that's the basics. A brand new project file into which you insert as sub-projects those project files that you would like to manage together somehow. That master project file can have its own tasks as well. We have one here. And subsequently, we'll look at how we can link between the sub-projects and tasks within the master project so that things then become dependent on each other. We're not just looking at the master file as a sort of tool to view these 3 projects. It's also going to be a tool to be able to manage the 3 projects.